So we are going to be finishing the unit today with a relatively simple concept compared to the ones we've just been doing. The ones, Ronnie, we ready to go here? The ones that we just finished up, they're going to take a lot of concentration during the test, a lot of concentration during the diploma, and definitely having those strategies in place of the at least, the at most. If it's a committee, order doesn't matter. If you get to repeat, if the first is a, if they put restrictions, make sure you're doing the restrictions first and then filling in the rest. They will have one question on the diploma, and I'll have some on my test, that will deal with 2.8. Now, 2.8 is just a matter of getting the formulas to be able to make the answer. Okay? Like, on the quiz today, we did that 9p6 equals 60,480. Okay? Well, how did we get that? Well, we put 9p6 in our calculator. Well, what if now, like in this question here, number 1, what if they give us the answer, but they don't give us the number to put in? You can use algebra.
Go through to multiple choice answers until you find the right one.
Okay. And the algebraic way is possible, but it is difficult. Chance of error is high. And not only that, if you do it the long way, it's time consuming. Not a lot of appealing ways to doing it that way. Yet, I don't care what level of a student you're at, I would still, for these, I would do guess and test. Guess and test will probably take you 1/10 of the time, and you'll get it right even. Okay? So, what's wrong with that? You will get it right, because you're going to put it in your calculator, you're going to get the answer. You're going to get the answer 336. Now, just let me give you a couple tips though. First of all, this number here, it can't be less than 3. Can you have 2 objects and pick 3 of them? No. Okay? So, guaranteed that this number will be bigger than 3. And even if the number's like 20, right? Say, I'm just gonna do one here quick. But say, I don't even know if my calculator can handle this. Let's see. But if I did 20, say, P2, 380, okay? So I'm just going to do one on the side here, but if I did NP2 equals 380, so you're like, ooh, okay, what could N be? Well, now you saw the 20 already, but pretend you didn't see that, so we're just going to clear it. If you did like K5 P2, look how far away you are. Like, don't do 6. Don't waste your time with 6 and then 7, then 8. Like, get it up to 10. 10, math. Oh, that's still far, right? So I'd go up to 15. Like, I'd start, so 15, math. Okay, I'm getting up there. Now, I would try 20 next. But even if I go 25, P2, okay, so now you know where you're in between. I'm still kicking butt in the guide doing algebraically though. Okay? So, it is a matter of guessing. I wouldn't start off with 1, because that's impossible. Okay? So, even with this question that we've been given here, what P3 equals 36? Okay, can you find that out for me? What? No, 4. No, I said what P3 equals 336? 8 P3. Okay, so you just try that out. Make sure. 8. Oops. Whoa. 8. No, you want to keep it simple, right? 8p3 equals 336. So I know that 8 is this number here. So what is n? 4, right? Because 4 plus 4 equals 8. So get the whole number first, and then it says n plus 4 has to equal 8. So you can look at it, or just go minus 4, n equals 4. Okay? So that's as hard as they're going to make it, is that one there. And do I know the way to do it algebraically? Yeah, I do. Okay? I promise you I would teach it if you needed it, but you don't. Even in my 30-1, I say, come on, guess and test. Why go through all this? Okay? So I'm not trying to rob you out of an education. I'm just thinking. Okay? So on your own. I don't want to know what n minus 1 P6 is. Can you find what P6, and don't yell it out, what P6 equals 50, 40? Okay? I'll time you. See how bad. Like, this is about a 3 or 4 minute question done the long way. Okay? So that was only 14 seconds. You got it? 14 seconds isn't a stupid waste of time, right? But it would take about 3 minutes if we were going to do this the long way. Okay, maybe 2 if you're good at it. So now you should be able to find out what n is. Did you find the answer? Okay. Okay, I just want a few people to keep trying it. So write down what P6 equals 50, 40, and then you could do the other bit. And you see how much room I've been given? Like, this is not an exaggeration of the room I would need to do this algebraically. Yet I can do this in this amount of room here. So what P6 equals 50, 40? 8? 7? What?
7p6.
So 7p6 equals 50, 40. Okay? Therefore, and you could even see, if you want n minus 1 equals 7, add 1, right? N equals 8. Does this make sense? Okay? So yeah, they're going to try and trip you up a bit. So maybe you'll grab 7 in the multiple choice. Maybe this is a numerical response, right? And you put 7, right? And that's why when you come back later, when you're doing your diploma the second time, right, you're going to be really purposeful about taking your answer, because if you put 7 there, and you take your answer and you go 7 minus 1, 6p6. No, that doesn't equal 50, 40, right? That's where you'll catch that. So that's the only way you're going to get caught, is if you actually mess up the little bit of algebra, because this is not difficult algebra if you want to line that up. So n would equal 8. Even though we're going to start with 7p6 equals 50, 40. Okay, now here's the other thing they could give you. They want you to find the value of n. So we have to use what we learned on how to do factorial notation, and now to find an answer. Again, this would most likely be a numerical response question. Now, which one of these should I be counting down, the top or the bottom? Okay. Yeah, we always count down, right? It's always 9 factorial is the same thing as 9 times 8 factorial, right? So if I'm always subtracting 1, right? And if I was to subtract 1 again, that'd be 9 times 8 times 7 factorial. So can you see in this example, they've got n minus 1 over n minus 2 factorial. Do I ever add 1 every time? No. Okay, so some people would want to maybe count this down and go, oh, that's n minus 2 times n minus 1 factorial. But did I count down or up? I actually counted up, because if I added 1, that's n, right? We always count down. So to get 1 less, I could count, okay, that's n minus 1 times n minus 2 factorial. See how you always count down. Okay, get that on a study sheet. You always count down. Then my top and bottom cancel, and I will have n minus 1 equals 18. Then I add 1, n will equal 19. Okay, don't stop there though. Check it. 19 minus 1 factorial over 19 minus 2 factorial. Well, 19, that's 18 factorial over 17 factorial. Correct? That's the same thing as 18 times 17 factorial over 17 factorial, because I count down. I'm not going to count down the bottom. I'd have a 16. Well, how am I going to cancel? That crosses and we get 18. Okay, so we want to check it because you can get kind of messed up once in a while. And if you accidentally counted down the bottom where you did this, n minus 1 factorial over n minus 2 times n minus 1 factorial, that crosses, that's 1 over n minus 2 equals 18. Okay, then you're going to multiply that out. You'll get an answer. You're going to test it and it won't work. And that's why if you take the time to check every single answer that you've done on your diploma and work backwards, check it, you're going to find a lot of mistakes. And once again, like, you can leave your diploma half an hour early, and I'll guarantee you, in a month, 10 years, whatever, you'll never remember graduating a half an hour early. You never will remember that. But in that half hour, you find 3 mistakes, you can see that will change everything in a month, right? In 3 years. So after that, you're done. Like, stay in there. Right? Stay in there till you got 3 hours. You finish a half an hour early, you won't even care. In fact, you'll probably be mad when you're talking about it later and you got 3 wrong just because you didn't check it over. Right? So just the amount of questions your calculator will help you get right and the amount of questions that you can check. If you go in there knowing what you're doing, you're not going to make any stupid mistakes. Okay? You will the first time through your diploma. Everybody does. Okay? You won't get 100 your first time through. Okay? But you keep checking it over, checking it over, checking it over. Hey, every mistake you find, that's another like 3-4%. It's not a waste of time. Okay? And hey, if you end up, like, count them, like I found 5, right? That's another 20% you give yourself. Okay, last one. 6PR equals 120. Like, I kid you not, look at this page. This is how much it takes you to do it algebraically. Okay, try it. What would it be? Now, don't yell it out. I guarantee you R cannot be bigger than 6 because you can't pick 7 things. You can't pick 7. Doesn't make sense. Okay? So, man, if you started at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I mean, how much time? You've got to be able to pull that off in under a minute. You can't pick 6p7, right? It's not gonna work. Getting 3? That didn't take long, right? So r equals 3. Now, just because I know it's killing you, I'll show you how to do this the other way. Now, 6PR, just so you know, this is called NPR. That's the way it is on your formula sheet, NPR. And that's n factorial over n minus r factorial equals 120. Because what if they gave it to you like this, and they said, what would the answer to this be? Would you know that that's 6PR? This means 6PR. Maybe you don't know that, but it's on your formula sheet. So maybe you're not seeing this. You're not seeing that 6PR. Maybe you're not seeing that. So then you're not going to be guessing. But if you, I'm going to show you something really quick. You can actually put this into your calculator, and this equals 720. So it's 720 over 6 minus r factorial equals 120. Now, whenever you have two things like equaling each other, they're called ratios. And these two can trade. So you can always take the escalator. Okay, and that equals 6 minus r factorial. Now, if you take 720 and divide by 120, you will get 6. Now, even from this place, I would say, pick an r. That would work. Okay? Now, the r we got was 3. So does that make sense? Does 6 equal 6 minus 3 factorial? Does 6 equal 3 factorial? What does 3 factorial equal? 3 times 2 times 1, right? So they might give it to you like this, and the stronger student will recognize that's the formula for permutations. But if you don't recognize it, I shouldn't say the stronger student. Sometimes we're just not thinking that way at that time, right? And that's why to be rested and ready for this diploma is way better than pulling an all-nighter and studying, right? Because you'll probably do worse on it, because questions like this, you'll just blank. But, you know, just mess around with it. Or, worst case scenario, keep picking R's. Okay, just pick an R, put it in, get it. Okay, even from this scenario, right? Because that's going to be most likely a written response, or a numerical response, right? And then after you're all done, make sure you put it in one more time to make sure you have that. Okay, my goal for you is that you have 3 of these beside every single question on your diploma, meaning you went through each one of them 3 times. That's a good diploma. That's when you can walk. You know, you don't get that chance on an English diploma. You don't get that chance on a social diploma, right? Most advice, especially for multiple choice on English or social, is go with your first gut, right? No, it is, right? You read that paragraph, and who do you think was the protagonist of the, you know? You pick him, like, I don't know, you know, or if you're like, you know, which prime minister was the one that did this? You're like, crap, I don't know, right? Pick one of them. I mean, you're going to come back and go, oh, maybe it could have been this guy. Like, you know, sometimes you're just like, it is what it is, right? But if you go and you got 3 in here, and then you put in 6p3 and it's the wrong answer, like, don't go, oh, but that was my first response. I was told never to change it. I mean, if you're getting two different answers, then you need to pick a third way now to try to, which one is right, right? So the diploma will not test you for time. Okay? Many of you probably at 2 hours could probably say, I feel pretty good with this, like I could hand it in. You take that 3 hours. You make them, to drag out your dead cold corpse before you give that test up. Okay, so the assignment is on the next page. Okay, and then again, please reminder, don't be packing up early because that person beside you that needs to work gets distracted, right? Okay, give me a sec here. I'm just going to post this quick. What do you need?